let's go over some of the things that you can help them realize, help the agents realize some of the things that they need to do in order to be more successful. Okay, number one, answer the phone. Okay, a lot, if not, 95% of the buyers out there are calling off of a sign, they're calling off of an internet ad. They're not necessarily filling out a form. And the reason why is because they know they don't want to have emails consume their computer off of real estate agents. So if they're willing to call, because they know real estate agents don't always make those phone calls. So, and they want the answer now. That's the other reason. They want the answer now of what the price is, what the view looks like, whether it has a pool or not, all of that. If it's not on the signs, or if it doesn't have sign writers explaining all that, if they're driving neighborhoods. Okay, so helping them answer the phone and realize that that's so important in the real estate business. The next thing an agent would really need help with, and I've seen them all out there, and I'm probably guilty of this myself, is the strength of their profile online. Now, there's a lot of different profiles that we have out there. We have Zillow, we have Realtor.com, we have your own company website, you have your own team website, you have social media profiles, you have all of these profiles. So you as a leader or an organization, if you can develop a list and have that list ready to go, have staff implement this to help each person with their profile, it's going to help them become more professional out there and allow them to get more phone calls when people are needing information or they want to talk to an agent. So many times I'll meet a lot of agents online, and whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and they don't have a phone number on anything. I mean, how are you going to communicate with text messaging or phone calls direct? Not everybody feels comfortable sending DMs and emails these days. So you've got to think about, how can I help these agents get better in their performance, in their marketing, in their profiles, in order to generate more phone calls and generate more business. So huge tip there. The next thing would be reviews. Help the agents develop a system for getting reviews from their clients. And so what we'll do is we reward our sphere of influence or our past clients. If we missed it, we're rewarding them to write a review. So we're sending out, we're making a phone call, we're sending it via email, confirming they got the email with the links and a synopsis of what we felt that the transaction, how the transaction happened. And normally it's a great experience from our point of view, of course, we're writing it. But if it's true, they're going to accept it because they don't have time to write all of the reviews. And a lot of them just won't do the reviews if they have to write it. I mean, I've waited 6 months for it, and I finally just wrote it. I sent it over, they were cool with it, posted it, and because they had the link, and we moved on from there. So think about that. So if, for most real estate agents out there, they don't have time because they're searching for their next deal. They're taking kids to soccer and football practice and cheerleading and all of this stuff. They're not thinking about the deal or the referral or the review that needs to help their business. So consider that. If you're a team leader, if you're a brokerage owner, if you're running an organization, how can you help them streamline the review process? Because the ROI, the return on investment, is extremely good when you have a ton of reviews out there. Why should I list my home with you? That question on an interview with an agent is going to put them off a little bit, right? And it's not designed to put them off. It's designed to get them thinking about having somebody at any moment ask them that question. They should be prepared for that question at all times. Most agents are not prepared for that question, anytime. Okay, and I'm talking, 80% of the agents, 20% are probably okay with answering that question. So if you can help them identify their strengths and sell that as a response, that's going to go over well initially. It's going to be another slogan or tagline when they're doing their marketing. And it's going to, if it's practiced, if it's written down, if it's believed, and if it's true, then their business is going to go up. And you as a leader, a team leader, organization, or brokerage owner are going to win by default. Remember, we're trying to position the team leaders in this video to help their agents win, right? Okay, so the next piece I want you to consider is helping your agents systematically study the market, okay? I study homes and prices every day, so therefore I am a professional. I am somebody that at any time somebody can call me and ask me about my markets, and I can come up with the correct answers, the correct stats about the marketplace, not just what you see on social media and YouTube and all that stuff. I'm wanting every single agent in my organization to understand that the knowing market stats and inventory is super important. And this is a basic thing, but even the seasoned agents forget that it's so important to understand the marketplace so they can speak intelligently about the marketplace whenever asked or whenever there's an opportunity. So consider that. What if the buyer said, "Should I be buying a house right now?" What is your response? There's a lot of standard responses out there. It's always a great time to buy real estate. I would agree with that in most cases, unless you're in a declining market, right? Then it's not. Then it could be, hey, you need to wait. Well, Brent, what if it is the right decision for them because they need to stabilize their family? Okay, well, that's part of the equation, but they get to make that decision, right? So understanding that question as a buyer or as a buyer's agent, should I be buying a home right now? It's a common question, especially in today's market with prices at pretty near peak levels. We've come down a little bit with interest rates that are high, and everybody expected a crash in the marketplace, and the marketplace did not crash, and it's not going to crash. Is there an opportunity to buy? Yeah, I believe there is, all over the place. Now, what if you're in Miami? Now, I've got agents in Miami, and that market's filling up with condos, right? There's a lot of things going on in the construction of these condo insurance with these condos that they're doing, assessments to cover repairs from older complexes. And it's probably really important right now to understand that a lot of these buyers are scared, and some of the sellers are scared from huge assessments. So is it the right time for them to buy? Is it the right property? That's probably the better question. Is it the right home for them to purchase? So talking about this is part of sales, and talking about objection handlers and having automated responses that make sense for the specific market that you're in will help your agents really win in this market, because every conversation matters, especially to the buyers and sellers. They're not talking to an agent unless it's really, really important to them. So we're trying to raise the professional standards in real estate. And so these are the things that agents need to go over with their clients. But prior to that, to give the agents the ideas on a weekly basis or monthly basis, for a better answer, is the job of the leader or the leadership in the organization. Are the agents right now spending money on ego, or are they spending money on a return on investment? Right? So this is a huge opportunity to do a deep dive into helping real estate agents really understand what the ROI is, because we all get hit up to sponsor this sports team, this kids sports team. soccer practice or football. I've sponsored so many different sports teams out there. We get hit up to donate for this charity or that charity. And what is the ultimate benefit by doing that? Is it making us feel good? Okay, great. That's important. But if it's part of your business expenses and you have limited funds, is there going to be an ROI on that? So helping them to understand that it's by supporting these organizations on a charity level, we need to actually hold those funds accountable and to figure out, okay, is it good for the business to spend that money or not? And let's use this in a marketing aspect. Is it important to spend X dollars per year on an image ad that doesn't have a call to action and we can't track the ROI on that ad? It's a branding ad. It's not necessarily a marketing ad, it's a branding ad, and you just started branding, right? This is how agents think. And you're going to start branding a community with your face, and yet the ROI is really, really important because you need leads and you need deals in escrow today or within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And branding takes a lot longer, right? So when agents start spending money on branding versus marketing with direct response marketing, the time frame in order to get the ROI on those dollars spent is way longer for branding. So a lot of agents don't understand the two there. Okay, what about a premier agent concierge service? Now, if you're a team leader or a broker owner running an organization, what services are you offering your agents to help with their business? Now, we will run services like we'll put the properties in the MLS for the agents. We will order all the marketing. We will order the sign up. We have 300 lock boxes in Phoenix. We have everything the agent needs to be successful in this business if the desire's there and the work ethic's there. So really think about your process of what you can take off of their plate. Now, maybe it's closing gifts. After they close escrow on something, you're going to send out the closing gifts for the agents. Maybe they pay for it. Maybe you do, depending on how your business is being ran. But it's that administrative tasks that consume a lot of time that the agents don't necessarily have time to do, so they skip that step, which costs them business in the future. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, we had a staff member, we have a pre-list property in Arizona coming up, and we're doing a pre-marketing opportunity for the seller. We're going to pre-market for 15 days, I think. And so we put it in multiple systems. We had to put it in the MLS, of course, the Clear Cooperation Agreement that NAR set up. Then we put it in a system that EXP exclusives. And then we built a standalone single property website, and the admin hours that took to organize all the photos and the and all the write-ups and making sure that the spelling's correct and making sure that everything flows properly and each photo was handpicked, looking for flaws, looking for the right angles to show the public. It probably took 5 or 6 hours. And this is my assumption, looking at that, all the work that was involved, talking to the photographer and calling the videographer to make sure that things were additionally coming and pictures needed for the marketing that was chosen. So all of that stuff is so important that it can be a concierge service for your agents that maybe they're really good agents and they don't necessarily have an assistant, they have a transaction coordinator or something, But that service right there is so valuable to a solo agent. I think that there's an opportunity for a lot of brokerages and teams and organizations to make an additional 20%, 25%. There's companies out there, Place is one of them, Livian, and there's Keller Williams, and then there was another one, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they charge 50% to be your partner, and they take all the back end work off of it, off of that agent. And so a lot of brokerages, maybe they're on a 80-20 split or 85-15 split or whatever, and they're like, man, we're making a little bit of money, we're not making a lot, and we need to scale this, or we need to get more profitable some way. Well, if you added that service and you charge 20% for it for an assistant to handle their whole back office, so you're at a 40% net to your organization or your brokerage or your team. Is that a profitable venture for you? Is that a profitable venture for the agent? And I would argue yes, because most agents don't have the attention span to spend 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to start the back end paperwork and marketing that every single property deserves when you're listing a home. And the costs associated, I think our hard cost, without even a sign up, which is $150 or something like that, maybe it's 100. Our hard costs on the videographer, the night shoot, and all the add-ons that we do, the drone footage and everything, is about $1,500 or $1,600. And so we want everything top notch. And so most agents don't have that capital to go in up front to start marketing the houses. So that's why teams are so important and brokerages are so important, if they're fronting that type of capital for the agents to do business. So hopefully that developed some of those ideas in your head of what you could possibly offer agents that is a real need. The next real need is for an agent is to have access to somebody to cover their business when they go out of town or they're on vacation. And we used to do this years ago when I had my brokerage. We'd always figure somebody out, and they would partner with somebody and probably get 25% or something to cover their business for a week or two while they're on vacation. And we're developing some new ideas around covering their business while they're on vacation. And it's probably going to be the 20-25% mark for the, maybe it's once a year, maybe it's twice a year or something like that, to handle those files. Maybe there's a flat fee involved, but think about those things to help increase your profit margins as a team leader, brokerage owner, or running your organization, whatever it's called. Let's talk about speed to lead. Speed to lead is so important these days, but I am going to argue another side. I think that statistically, and I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but the speed to lead when you're handling a live transfer is extremely important if it's live transfer. If it's in the middle of the night and they register on your website or a lead form somewhere, then it's not as important. But more importantly is that first meeting. And more importantly than that is how many times you're following up, right? Relentless follow-up at different times and different communication methods is extremely important. And I will also argue in today's world, this is totally different from years past, okay? Years past, we were able to set appointments for Tuesday, and today's Saturday, but for Tuesday, and the sellers would honor that appointment. The buyers that wanted to have a formal presentation and get to know the agent, they would keep that commitment. In today's world in real estate, they don't necessarily keep those commitments because it's a now society and they're stressed out. They want a sure thing, and that includes who they're going to hire. And so they want it off their plate so they can get busy with everything else that they have to do in their life. So what we have done is we have cut down the time frame And we want to meet with that person the same day, if not the same day, the next day, schedules permitting. And when that happens, the opportunity for that client to become a client, or that person to become a client, increases like, it's a tremendous amount of percentage increase. It's probably 60%. We found that we've lost deals if we put say it was a Friday and we got that call and we spoke to that seller and we put it off till Monday. That person's interviewing another real estate agent. Whoever went there first is getting that deal. If they're professional, if they're prepared, if they have good rapport and they're not repulsive, they're going to hire that real estate agent. A lot of the sellers right now assume every real estate agent is really good, even though a lot of them are not. But they assume that they're really good if they show up and they're prepared and they're professional and they're likable, then they're going to give that person a chance. They're first. It's just like first to market, right? And so you need to consider as shrinking the time frame of, and teaching your agent this, by the way, shrinking the time frame of meeting with those potential clients. So important. Next thing, I wrote down, can they call you from your profile? This is a big one, and it's a way to capture more leads. And most of your agents don't even think about having this as an opportunity. But I will get phone calls from Facebook or Facebook Messenger because they installed that button. I think that's an important feature. Can they call you from your website? Can they call you from Zillow? Can they call you from any profile that you have on there? And so important. We talked a little bit about at least having your phone number on there, but can they click a button and talk to you? I think that's really, really important. And then again, I think I said this, but the speed to lead thing, but it's relentless follow-up. You should be trying to talk to that seller or buyer if it's an internet lead, probably 6, 7, 8 times of communication that day. So we will email, we will text, we will call, we will wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we will email, call, and text again. We want our potential sellers and buyers to know that we want their business. We're willing to continuously make those phone calls to earn their business, because this is how we treat our business. This is how we're going to treat their priorities, right? Their priority is to sell their house. Their priority is to buy a house. And we want to make sure that they are well taken care of, at least on a communication standpoint. I do want to back up and talk about the reviews. I think there's reviews that are so important. And Zillow did take off a lot of reviews on some of a lot of agents' profiles. And so putting those reviews out on Zillow, out on Google, out on I think it was Trulia and Redfin, you're putting those reviews there, which is important, but they can also take them off. So I do think you need same thing with Facebook or your Facebook business page or whatever. Something happens, then can they take it off? Are you going to be at a disadvantage if it is taken off? So I think you need to figure out how, one, to have it in writing, whether it's emailed back to you or something so you can keep it in a file, or could you have it on your own website as a review? And is that important for your agents to consider? Because they're not thinking that way. So consider that.